Welcome to Adrift in Aldhalor, our weekly actual play D&D show set in our homebrew world of Aradune. Our music is licensed through musicbed.com, and occasionally we use TabletopAudio for some ambience. I'm going to ask Stefan to share a little bit about our partners.
Yo, what up, homies?
Yep.
We've got partners. We love them. They're great. First up, we've got Underground Oracle Publishing. They are a TTRPG publisher, creating new worlds in the Cypher system and beyond. Their current focus is Foxfire, a science fiction tabletop role-playing game with a strong emphasis on high adventure and fun, full throttle action, where you, yes you, play as anthropomorphic animals who left Earth behind long ago to take their place among the stars. For as little as $3 a month, you can become a member through their website and gain early access to this developing TTRPG and each of the worlds they create. Next up, we've got Eddie Yorke, who is our character artist. He is an illustrator based in the United Kingdom who makes art for games and books. To visit his portfolio and get in contact with him, visit eyorke.com. And then we've got 1985 Games. They create affordable, accessible, high-quality accessories for Dungeons & Dragons and other tabletop role-playing games. Sean has used their NPC cards in the past to create fun, memorable characters for us to engage with. He went through them all, so we're hoping for Volume 3 soon. Use the code paradiceprod at checkout for 10% off your entire order. Finally, we've got recaps and VODs on Discord and YouTube. They're a little behind, but that's okay, because if you message me directly, you can find me on the Discord. Just message me just like, hey, Stefan, give me a recap. I'll call you if you want and just give you a rambling recount of what's going on through the eyes specifically of Jacques. I can't guarantee it'll be good. I can't guarantee it'll be accurate, but hopefully you'll be entertained. You can also find us on Bluesky, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Discord, Instagram, and TikTok for all your social needs.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Shall we get started, Stefan?
Up to you, boss.
It's up to you today.
Oh. Then yeah, I want to play D&D. I want to play D&D. Let's go.
Okay, let's jump into our recap. So, last we left off, Iron and Mana, coming off of extended downtime, have begun planning what they want to do next to guide the future of Hyvin. They had a long conversation about the different factions in the current state of affairs that they must deal with, whether it's the Syndicate, the private criminal enterprise of Mr. Greaves, who is acting now as a public figure, distancing himself from his criminal background, trying to display himself as just another concerned citizen of Hyvin. Is it the Alumno Defiance, who seem tame at this moment and pacified by Septimus's offering of resurrecting some of their dead soldiers killed by Iron and Mana? Or should they be tackling the ascendancy of the Aradunai, an extremist group trying to advocate for Aradune as a elemental spirit, a mother nature, if you will, who have within themselves their own factions, but the dominant force seems to be this extremist group. The party also had learned previously that they hold Fiora Bendega, a former regional leader of the Aradunai, that the party had partnered with in the past and subsequently had betrayed. She is now held in captivity as a prisoner for having worked with Iron and Mana in the past. Because the Ascendancy believes Iron and Mana is an enemy of Aradune. As they discuss this, they believe that the Aradunai should be tackled first. And the way they wish to do this is through parley. They want to meet with a representative of the Aradunai to try to come to some alliance or accord. So they send a message to them to meet outside of the city the next day. Before the next day comes, Jacques gets a bit of an upset stomach after something may or may not have been messed with in his food. He currently does not believe that his goblin cook at the Gloveless Cat is trying to poison him, but who knows? All we know is he made a saving throw. The next day, the party heads out to meet the spot that they outlined in their carriage. Fyrn had scouted out the area beforehand, seeing to make sure that there weren't any traps laid out for you all, but it seems the Aradunai have at the very least respected the neutrality of this place. Although the party did see Chroma Fist units, members monitoring them as they moved through the sort of makeshift town outside of Hyvin. When they arrive to meet the rendezvous, they are first met with a bugbear named Zavrok of the Winds, who is very rude to Iron and Mana, really showcasing the disrespect that the organization has for Iron and Mana and their choices. But he does introduce the true representative, which is Ascendant Iluraya, a woman who is in simple dressed but has this shimmering water-like skin, is unusually tall, and her face resembles a skull in some ways. No nose, the skull-like mouth and eyes, glowing a bluish hue, and she wears a sapphire distinct ring, similar to the ring that the party had from their previous encounter with the Aradunai. Bruce can tell that she is not some elemental creature from another plane, but most likely inundated or infused with elemental magics. The party learns what they kind of already knew. The Ascendancy does not like them. But they do get a chance to try to convince the Ascendancy otherwise. They particularly appeal to the humanity, the all-manity, if you will, of the Ascendancy in the people of Hyvin and the protection of people. But Iluraya makes it abundantly clear to them that the Ascendants would rather the peoples of Aldhalor vanish before they give even an inch for the well-being of Aradun and the spirits. So they are not above violence, and they are not interested necessarily in the common good of the Ulma in Hyvin, but rather their desire for a unburdened Aradun. But despite that, they are willing to hear Iron and Mana out, at least in the sense of neutrality. Iluraya offers to bring their message to the Ascendancy of a truce of some sorts, so long as the Iron and Mana does not ally themselves with the Avenirian Electrum Company, the main enemy of the Aradunai, and doesn't interfere with their work. They will pull off the bounties that they have on Iron and Mana's head, and also restrain the Chroma Fist in the city, particularly in any interactions with Iron and Mana. There's not necessarily a guarantee that this will happen, but Iluraya says that she will advocate for Iron and Mana in this sense, but that there will be no alliance between the two organizations. After this, and Iluraya's departure, the party debriefs, believing that they did not gain much out of this interaction as far as power or alliance, other than potentially a stay of violence. But they do learn a little bit more about the Ascendancy's motivations and their willingness to sacrifice people in the name of their mission. Fyrn correctly is frustrated with this, but also frustrated that no progress was made on Fiora Vendega's situation, feeling a debt to her, given that she's in her predicament, somewhat due to Iron and Mana's decision to betray her back in Stony Heath. And this being one of the priorities on their list was trying to secure Fiora, who could potentially advocate for them further within the Aradunai ranks. But they head back into Hyvin, and they notice there's some unrest stirring. Particularly, they notice on the ramparts leading up to the Admiralty Court, a gathering of folks who seem to be protesting the the Admiralty Court, or at least bringing some kind of grievance to the gates of the upper city. And that's where we left off, as the party heads deeper into the city. So, Iron and Mana, you are in your carriage, heading towards your common destination. It is still early in the day, or at least early in the afternoon, on the 13th of the Shining Shadow, on a Sancta. What would you like to do at this time? Or what would you like to do next?
Seeing the commotion up there, Jacquet is like almost leaning out of the window, like, that can't be good, right? Like, there's no situation where there's a mob outside the Admiralty Court where it's like a good thing, unless we're leading it, which we're not because we're here.
Can't say I'm not a little curious. You want to go check it out?
I think that we must. This is definitely a certainty. Look at them. They're agitated.
As self-proclaimed protectors of the city, it seems right.
Septimus would just move forward and see what the commotion is.
Bruce, were you about to say something?
Nope.
No problem.
Oh.
Okay, so as you move through the city towards High Road that leads to the ramparts, you pass a few of your typical spots. You don't actually, from here, you don't have to go to the main street, so you really can go directly there through the Mercantile District. There are absolutely people when you get closer, particularly on High Road, that are watching from their balconies or from their front porches or stepping out. You can see from some of the establishments there, people, even if they were like purchasing something, they're all everyone's kind of standing outside watching this mob that is outside of the gates of the Admiralty Court. As you get closer, you can hear the commotion a bit more. There's no pitchforks or like torches or anything like that. You do see that it is like rather many rows deep, this crowd. There's probably like anywhere from like 30 to 40 people making it up. The ramparts up to this area are rather narrow, as you recall. But there just seem to be Admiralty guards right outside of the gate that have kind of made their own line. And as you can see behind them, the gate itself is like open just ajar. So if they needed to retreat inside, they could and slam the gate shut on the mob. And you can see there are Admiralty Commodore guards on the walls themselves too. Can very clearly see that they have like they're not pointing anything at the crowd, but they have crossbows in their hands. As you approach, and the crowd is absolutely agitated, but they don't seem very organized. It's hard to discern a singular voice coming from them, as far as like a chant or something like that, or even signs. They just seem agitated. As you approach about, I'll say like 20 feet away from the back of the crowd, right now, and it does look like the front of the crowd is the most aggressive. While the back of the crowd seemed to be kind of like pretty tame, actually. Kind of just like standing there, maybe as backup for the front, or like maybe they wandered up and are listening. Maybe are a little bit bolder to join in with the crowd, but haven't fully joined in the commotion. While the first like few rows are really the ones sort of shouting and making a commotion.
Before Septimus has even like stopped the carriage, I imagine Jacquet has swung open the door and like does like a stepping leap out, scanning the back of this crowd for anyone he might know or recognize, maybe one of his espionage folks, whatever you call those.
Yeah, spies.
Yeah, that's the word. My word retrieval is not great.
Yeah. Give me a perception check.
right, that's 26.
Okay, so I'll say you can see one of your spies is in there in that back crowd, and you can surmise that like of their own volition, or maybe they are one of the ones who's been tasked with Greaves and the Syndicate, has come here on their own to kind of like, this seems like something that would be helpful for my boss.
Right.
Yeah. What was the total again?
26.
Okay. With 26, you do notice another recognizable person in that back portion of the crowd, and it's Obert, the orc bouncer from the Otterly business. That's not the name of it. The Otter business. That's the Otterly Seaworthy.
Yes.
That's the
Yep. Well, Jacquette's not going to talk to a bouncer from the Otter business. So he's going to like whistle and get the attention of his spy and gesture him to come, or her or them to come close, as Jacquette kind of like starts to make his way in and calling back to the others. He goes, I'm going to figure out what's going on. See what information you can gather.
Okay. So you said like this mob, it's just kind of just right in front of the gates. There's no like ringleader or someone like at the front giving a speech or something, or
currently
vocalizing
there's no like unified chant. There's no like ringleader around it that you can see right now. It just looks like there's a front crowd that is the most agitated, and then a back crowd that is kind of like in line. And look a little bit more like they're like listening and maybe figuring things out as well.
Is there an opposition to them on what they're facing, like counter protests?
There's not like a counter protest, but there is a line of Admiralty guards who are kind of like just holding a line. Like there's a gap between them and the crowd, and they seem like they look worried from here, even though you can kind of barely see the guards due to the like, you can only see them because you're on elevated on the carriage to see over the crowd. But there isn't like some other group that they're like arguing with. They're literally just sort of like yelling at these guards.
Okay.
It's gonna take forever for us to get through this crowd. Bruce, can you send maybe your bird thing to hear what's going on?
I mean, sure. I think, if anything, I might just scurry between all the legs and see if I can get up front.
Well, before you do anything, I do want to have Jacquette meet up with his spy.
Sure.
So just to keep fleshing these spies out, this is Sybil Stonesworn. She's a dwarven woman. She has kind of like a short-cut haircut that's a little messy, with gray eyes and a very like a weathered look. She's someone who looks like she's worked hard labor in her life. But she's someone who is like a very calm and stoic individual, so she can kind of like just like, her specialty in spying is just like being in the right place at the right time and seeming trustworthy.
Sure.
Because of her stoicism. So as you come up, she kind of sneaks away from the crowd, and calmly walks over, and as you ask her what's going on, these people have been riled up by some kind of some of them are talking about Mr. Greaves and some speech he made the other day. Others are talking about something in the paper today. But they're demanding answers from the Commodore's office, demanding change, demanding the elections, demanding the gates be opened for the people of Hyvin to freely walk in and out of the court. Some of them seem agitated just to be agitated. Others seem like they believe it. I've been keeping my eye on a few individuals who seem like they might be, from my best guess, agitators for Mr. Greaves. And her eyes kind of like dart over, and you follow them to Obert, who's kind of like pacing in the crowd like a predator.
Yeah, so no main agitator here? Just the people of presumably the Widow's Ward riled up?
Aye. They
Alright,
gathered
good
some
work.
folks on their way here through Main Street. But mostly
Keep
the
an
Widow's
eye on the-
Ward.
Keep an eye on the troublemakers. Maybe see where they go after this is all done. But don't worry. Iron and Mana are here. As he gives her his most winningest smile, a little wink, and then he'll return to the others by the carriage.
She returns into the crowd. When she returns to the crowd, there are a few like people who kind of look back and see you. And there's almost like a secondary group, a smaller group that are kind of like turning to expectantly at you guys. Like, oh, Iron and Man is here. Like the front of the crowd that's agitated hasn't seen you, but some of the onlookers who are bold enough to join the crowd are like kind of like almost like pulling out some popcorn. Like from their like look on their faces of like, oh, Iron Man is here. Are they gonna, what are they gonna do? Because I think while there's people know from your op-eds that you have like this vision and this perspective on Hyvin that's not 100% at odds with Mr. Greaves, but is obviously like a different tone.
Yeah, just seeing the reaction of the crowd, Fyrn's gonna like get off the front of the cart and just like basically stay on guard duty, but like back people away from the cart sort of thing, like, make sure that, we're not about to get attacked or something like that. Like he feels a little overpowered with so many people just like in a crowd, like getting his attention. He's like not comfortable with the situation.
As Jacques approaches, he'll like kind of pass Fyrn and go, good thinking. Try to keep the crowd calm and watch out for agitators. I saw someone from the Otter business here, that orc bouncer, whose name I don't care to remember. Make sure he doesn't try anything.
Obert?
I don't care to remember.
He was always a softie when I talked to him. Wanted to be a writer.
Well, he's here now, and hopefully his writing days are still in front of him, and he doesn't make any mistakes. But let's see what I can do about this crowd. And then Jacques is going to climb up on top of the carriage, and facing the crowd, he's gonna take out his little cane that he does still carry around all the time, even though I don't describe it. And then using it kind of like a mic, he is going to cast Minor Illusion to amplify his voice as he calls out, "Good people of Hyvin!" And it echoes out, and just he waits a minute to see what happens.
Yeah, so there is a, like, due to the volume with the Minor Illusion, it does, like, quiet the space. Like, it doesn't completely silence it. It almost shifts it from agitated individual voices to quiet murmurs.
And after a pause, Jacques just goes, "What's going on? Why are you all outside the gates of the Admiralty Court? I don't mean to be rude, but me and my friends have a rendezvous inside."
The crowd whispers amongst themselves. Clearly, I think all of you with no insight check can tell they're like, this is the moment of like, who's the leader? Like people looking around like, why? Almost like there's a moment where you dispel the anger, and they're like, why are we here again? Like there's a little bit of that look on people's faces. And those of you outside of the cart would pinpoint Obert, who would kind of like see this, and then comes forward and looks up at you, Jacques, on top of the cart, and he says, "For the heroes of Hyvin, you don't seem to keep yourselves informed. Commodore's office refuses elections. Mr. Greaves brings them. We demand entrance. We demand openness. Demand that the people of Hyvin not have to get special certifications, special permission to walk amongst their own city, the upper city."
Still using the microphone, Jacques responds, apologies if we're not aware of exactly what's going on. We've been dealing with our own issues here, mainly the Alumno Defiance, the Chroma Fist, the Syndicate that continues to be a plague on this city, trying to make sure that the fighting in the streets stops. But as I understand, there are elections coming. They're coming, and then I think it's the date that was already established has been well known. So Jacques says whatever date that is.
And Obert looks at this, and like there's a smirk on his face, and like the crowd is definitely like the onlookers who are just kind of like curious are like kind of like.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're kind of like, okay, this is done. This was fun. And then the main like agitated people, probably the ones who are from the Widow's Ward, are the ones who are kind of like pushing through the crowd and stepping forward to kind of come up with Obert, who smirks and says, "You think those elections are going to happen? They're just putting it off. They're putting it off until they can get the governor in here to squash us with his boot. No. The elections have to be now. Now. These gates need to be opened. We're not as privileged as you, Iron and Mana. We can't just walk in and out of the Admiralty Court. They keep themselves closed away from the city."
There was a time where we also could not walk in and out. And, sorry, I'm not sure I'm familiar with you. What's your name, my friend?
And he kind of looks around, and like you can tell you've challenged him to a point of making a decision to be a like quiet, invisible agitator, or like put his name on the line. And you can tell that he's kind of like that takes him aback. He was maybe hoping the crowd would take over, I think, at this point. But you are a disarming force because we don't need to know the role because we know the role for your persuasion rolls here.
24.
Yeah, I know it's 24. But you know what? Actually, for the fun of it, can you give me a quick one? I just want to see if you get higher.
Sure. No.
Just means when you get higher, it's just like mind-numbing persuasion. They're like, oh,
Exactly.
like, my life has changed.
I'll marry that snail.
But he looks, and then like there's a moment of like doubt in his eyes, and then there's a like inhale, and he stands taller, and he says, "Obert." Keep trying to call him Obert after you called him Obert. Obert Crenshaw. Work in the Widow's Ward.
Obert, I do recognize you. And at this, Jacques jumps off the carriage to land with a little flourish as he starts to walk amongst the people, walking up to Obert. And he goes, "Hey, yes, you're the bouncer at the Otter Business, correct?"
Amongst other things.
Yes, the hive for Mr. Greaves' syndicate. For let's not forget, Mr. Greaves is the one that led the syndicate for many, many years, even if he won't claim responsibility now.
The Widow's Ward is the way the Widow's Ward is because of the neglect of Commodore Umadori. A great
You're
wave
right.
came a year ago, more than a year ago, and destroyed our home. Destroyed our home. You've seen it. You've been to the Widow's Ward. I know you have. I know. I've seen you. And you see the collapsed bluffs. You see that there's nothing of support, nothing of building, nothing of help. There's nothing from the Commodore. So,
You're right. Yeah, and at this point, Jacquet is talking over him because he doesn't need him to make any more points. He just needs to show that Jacquet is a better speaker than Bert. And Jacquet just cuts him off and goes, "You're right. The Commodore did leave you behind, and that was not fair. And you are right that those walled behind the gates here live in a place where only money has gotten them there, not their deeds. And you're right, that change needs to come. But let's not forget that Mr. Greaves is just trying to use everyone to further his own agenda. He's used the people of the Widow's Ward for years, and he's using you now to cause chaos to further his agenda. Please, Hyvin, don't fall for it. Be angry, but don't be angry because he told you to be angry. Be angry because you all have rights, and those rights will come up in the next election when it's time. And maybe, just maybe, someone besides the Commodore will be running against a criminal.
and the pacifying of the crowd, I will say that is like your successful pacifying of the crowd entirely with your other 24. I did roll a persuasion roll for Obert, but he is no possible world to get to where you are. He got a 10.
Did he do well at least?
No, he didn't
okay,
do
never
well. He
mind.
didn't do well. If he did well, I would have at least like kept this going a little bit, but he failed in his persuasion roll.
Okay,
So
that's fine.
there's even the agitators, even the people you probably didn't convince, have opted for this not being their battle in this moment. So the crowd begins to disperse. People who are not necessarily aligned either way are just sort of like, let's get out of here. This is not worth it. Where others are kind of like looking to Obert, who then just kind of spits on the ground and then shakes his head for people to disperse. As the crowd start to kind of like walk past you now, and you can see any of you who are outside can see like where the crowd was. Things are dispersed now. So it's not necessarily like you see something suspicious, but there are clearly like enough rocks there to have not been part of the cobblestone here. And then you also see some scattered newspapers, some wooden sticks that may have been planned to be used differently. No one seemed to have been brandishing weapons, but there were clearly distribution or the beginning of distribution of improvised weapons.
Well, good job. You quit.
My words of honey worked now, but they'll only return more angry if something isn't done here.
After seeing this, could I spot Aubert like leaving and try and like break off and catch him before he
Yeah. I mean, he's not. No one's like sneaking. He's not like slinking into the shadows. He's just walking past you guys now, and you could hop off and go talk to him.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like quickly rush over there to like get a word in, but like
Mhm.
not lose sight of where the card is.
Yeah, totally. Say you're like 10 feet behind the cart when you catch up to him.
Aubert, it's me, Fyrn.
Yeah, I figured you were in there.
What was all that?
What do you mean? You've been back
I
long
mean-
enough.
Yeah, it has been a long time. but, you know, I always figured you were just, you just wanted to make ends meet and take you for a political activist.
He kind of like looks at you and like he does make an incredulous face where he's kind of like, and he's. When you spend time in the outer business, White Eye, it was different. It's different. I was just trying to make coin. But I don't know. It's
Well, what happened? Tell me about it. Maybe I can help. Things are different now.
Hyvin is weak.
For me and you.
Hyvin is weak. That's what's different.
You're right. But I've been making it stronger in my own way.
You've been making the lighthouse stronger. Tell me.
Part of
Fyrn.
Hyvin, ain't it?
Tell me why
Do what I can.
Tell me, are you still the Commodore's dog?
Commodore abandoned us a long time ago.
Then you should understand.
I mean, I understand that she is looking out for herself and not her people. But there's a lot of people out there doing that nowadays. Is causing a riot really our best solution?
I don't
Work with
see
me.
I don't see
over-
a riot here, White Eye. I see people sharing their grievances. You can at least respect Iron and Mana for talking to the crowd. We've been out here for an hour and there's nothing but guards.
If I could maybe get inside of the Admiralty Court, find somebody who is willing to talk to you, would you be interested in meeting and voicing your concerns? Maybe I can make this happen for you.
Kind of looks up at the walls. You peek to where he's looking and you can see like kind of the guards still there. And he looks back and he goes, might be too late for that, White Eye. Send him to the outer business if you find someone willing to talk. And he turns away to walk away.
You don't have to work for Mr. Greaves anymore. You might think that he's trying to do good, but I think you know that deep down you can't trust him.
And he does turn back to you. And with that final kind of like attesting there is a brief look between the two of you of like understanding where he's like, he doesn't refuse it like he was refusing other things you're saying. He kind of almost like a really subtle nod before he just says, King of the Hill, White Eye, and walks away.
Nothing ever changes in this town. As Fyrn just walks back to the group.
And like even like overhearing that conversation from the rest of you, like Ober is definitely someone who's practical to a certain extent. And he may have just, but not necessarily been pushed over the edge, but sort of in Jacquette's challenge of him, forced to kind of like plant his flag. And it has, because he did that, it is now almost like a self-reinforcing thing. Where in that moment, it was like, I kind of have to stand my ground.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, like if he were to back off now, everybody would see him as a coward or something like that. So
Exactly.
yeah, I just would return back to the group after that and just be like, are you happy with that whole, how that turned out, Jaquette?
No, I'm not happy that it's happened in the first place. Things are moving too quickly. I wanted more time. I was relying on the date of the election.
To give you a framework for when that would have been,
Yeah.
because I don't think I ever actually formally said it. The date at least given to you by Ducant, where he said this is when we're trying to do it, is in a month and a half. Basically at the end of the next month. They wanted to get to the new year, then do the proper like election process to be held at the end of the month. Like maybe not like the 30th of the month, but like 3 weeks into the month. And mostly from your private knowledge, this is because they're trying to get the Commodore to come back here.
Right. So that would be at the end of the first dawn?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And like that was a date that Ducant gave you as kind of like, we hope to be able to do that if we can get the Commodore back here. Otherwise, we have to find a new candidate, which is what he said to you the last time.
Right. Just quickly, Jacquette is going to check in with the guards and just basically let them know who just saved their asses from a potential conflict, but also just letting them know that, you know, Iron and Mana is here, and just trying to get some good graces. And then I imagine as he's walking back to the group, he'll spy one of these newspapers and pick it up
Front
to
page.
see what the hubbub. Yeah.
Front page. You would see the big and bold letters, the title, "The Question of Independence, Where Does Hyvin's Future Lay?" by Renning Greaves.
Which immediately Jacquette sees that and goes, of course he has a fucking stupid name.
Renning.
Spelled with a W, no less.
Yeah, what a dick.
Does his middle name start with a K?
No.
Damn it.
What?
Don't know what that reference was, but
Don't worry about it.
KG.
but you would see a front page article from Mr. Greaves there that was published today. Like this is this morning's paper.
So, why do the people of Hyvin think that the governor's going to come back and squash them? Especially in the widows' wards, just because they're associated with the area which Mr. Greaves is?
If there's a full-blown riot, I'm saying this for Bruce's benefit, so I'm just gonna wait. If there's a full-blown riot, Hyvin is the central port for all of Asia. All the food, all the goods comes through here. If we're not shipping, the governor ain't happy. He'll use all his forces to come in. Not just the widow's ward. This entire city will be under martial law.
I mean, at this point, would that be such a bad thing?
The amount of innocents killed? Yeah. I think that might be bad. In a time where we're trying to unify the city, and instead we're fracturing it even more. I mean, just look at what happened in Halcyon. The whatever folks cracked down, and now you have insurgents in the Alumno Defiance. They haven't gone anywhere in how many years? Decades? Centuries? Repression only breeds discontent.
Well, Low Defiance is kind of a virus in themselves, but that's another topic altogether.
Well, Hyvin here clearly needs to show some sort of leadership towards these people, willing to show that they're willing to be heard, or listen to what the people are crying out for. Some sort of concessions, because this is just not going to blow over today.
You're right. I spoke with Emile Ducant, the governor's man in the Commodore's office. He was keen on getting the docks locked down under lock and key so that they could bring the governor in. Don't have to fear for his life. He was also talking about someone to replace Umadori, since she does not seem interested in overseeing Hyvin. I think Fyrn's suggestion to Obert was a good one. Finding someone from the Admiralty Court, from every district, truly, to start to talk out their issues. But let's see what Irwin whatever his fucking name is.
Irwington
McGreaves.
McGreaves.
Yeah, let's see what Irwington McGreaves has to say as Jacques shakes out the newspaper so that the DM can read the nice thing he wrote up.
But
I'll be
I'm just gonna
listening.
play the devil's advocate here. What is any individual in the Admiralty Court gonna do? They all know of the situation that's currently happening here in Hyvin. So
They'll talk to the people and let them know that they care.
what? Well, what is? Fuck.
Take your time.
Oh, look, a bird.
Sorry.
Bruce has got astral sea sickness.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I heard that's only
pretty bad.
curable with a wish spell.
It is. If they're already made aware of it, what are they going to do about it if they don't have the resources? Even if they make the argument for it, it's just an ear on a wall. They can't do anything.
Sometimes all people want is to be heard, Bruce. You'd be surprised the power of politics.
Yeah, well, nothing's going to come of it unless these people do something about it as well.
You're not wrong, but it's a start.
I think you're the best wall I can talk to, is what I'm trying to get to. All right,
I'm sorry, did you just compare me to a wall of stone?
No. I'm saying you're better than a wall.
Oh,
The Admiralty Court is a wall, and at least we're.
and I'm a window into a new world. Yes, I like the way you think, Bruce.
There you go. Got there.
But anyways, what's this editorial Mr. Greaves wrote?
Okay. So, question of independence: where does Hyven's future lay? Mr. Greaves. What does democracy mean? Is it a far-off ideology owned by Gwyn merchants, prescribed to their people? Is it the collective of a ship's crew? Who decides? I say it is a battle, decided by the hearts of the people. But why should we wait for ineffectual, false, and absent rulers? Hyven deserves to be led by Hyven, not some esoteric and vague code of some governor, not some whim of the aristocrat and her patsies in Ezra City. No, the people of Hyven. They deny you this. Hyven needs strength to demand its place at the table, and for its destiny. As a humble merchant, I do not wish to take up this revolutionary position. But history demands strength. And I will make Hyven strong. It's the most important port in all of Halfdal. A sanctuary for the free, and as a beacon for democracy. Midori fears this. And the governor's lackeys in the Admiralty Court wish to delay your right as a part of this crew. So, what does a man of destiny do against such tyranny? We take our future into our own hands. Shall we wait for the dogs of the governor to tell us when we seize the future? No, we take it now and do what must be done. Therefore, I am prepared to hold our own election. Just Hyvin, just its people. On Nenua, the 19th of the Shining Shadow, collections of votes will begin throughout Hyvin, except the Admiralty Court. Let your voices be heard. Let our future start then on the ballot. Myself and Commodore Umadori, and a referendum on Hyvin's future. A cog in the governor's machinations, or something new, something strong. A free city-state. It's up to you, Hyvin. I will respect the will of our crew.
You know, after listening to all that propaganda, I'm almost thinking that maybe you should run for, Commodore.
Of course I should run for Commodore, Bruce. But wanted more time. It feels too forced. But I guess Mr. Greaves is forcing our hand. It's not
Right.
us trying to push this on the people.
He thinks that the people are on his side, that everyone just bows to him like he already controls this city. But if he truly wants to be democratic, he will need to hear our voices too. He will need to show that he can do this vote fairly without corruption.
Fyrn, I apologize, but I think you're wrong on two accounts. He does not care about it being democratic. To your point, it will almost definitely be corrupt in somehow, but he doesn't think the people are with him. He knows they're against Umadori. That much is clear.
Right.
The people have been against Umadori, it seems, since well before we arrived. Thus, the governor came in with his law and order, but that was short-lived. You're right, though. For this to be truly democratic, we need to make sure that precautions are taken. If this farce of an election, he says, throwing up the newspaper, should even happen.
And, to my point earlier about the governor coming in and squashing Hyvin, wouldn't this election also prompt him to do that? If it were to happen.
I confess, I don't know what Greaves's ultimate end plan is. He has to know that if he usurps control in Hyvin, the governor will come with the full might of his fleet. There has to be something more, something we're missing.
Well, we've got a month to figure it out.
No, dear Bruce. We have a week. Less
Oh.
than that, 6 days.
Sorry, I lost track of time in the academy.
It's okay. But we need to figure things out fast. I need to talk to Ducant. He seems to be the best point of contact in the Commodore's office. Bruce, do you think you can rally the Academy to back us in whatever comes down the road?
you know, they know my face. I'll do my best to rally, but
I think you've spent enough time there, made enough connections, at least in the Artificer College and with Sigil. And Sigil is an ally to us. He said that he doesn't want to sit in the shadows anymore. We'll tell him this might be the first step in the right direction towards doing something. And Fyrn, you've spent plenty of time amongst the people in a different way than I have. You've got those adventurers with you. Do you think that you can, to your point, figure out a way to do this without corruption? To make sure that if the vote happens on the 19th, like Mr. Greaves claims, that we can ensure his corrupt fingers don't spoil the pie.
I can't say I've ever held a vote before, but I believe that there were ways of my people that might come into might be helpful here. What if each section of Hyvin were to have a voted upon representative to perhaps speak for their interests, and that way we can have a true discussion about what is best for Hyvin as a whole before the election, and then those representatives will vote on what they think is best.
It's more of a republic than a democracy, but I think that it is a better way of doing things, because in the end, an individual only has so much information, whereas an elected official, it's their job to know what's going on. But of course, they're always susceptible to corruption. It's such a pickle. Of course, if there was an overarching constitution to really hold it all together.
Oh, God.
All right, I'll get right on
Constitutional
that.
Republic.
I'll write a constitution right now.
I've
No
accidentally
problem.
prompted you guys to stage an American Revolution on this
I'll pen
July, after the 4th of July.
I'll pen a series of papers. I'll call them the constitutional papers.
And I'll throw shit in the harbor.
Maybe not shit. Something like just not poop. We don't need to contaminate the waters here.
we'll have a poop party.
Oh, God.
Oh, Bruce.
Bruce starts the poop party.
Yes, the Hyvin poop party.
Oh, goodness. Flash
And
forward.
Septimus, you're listening, but you're not here. See what you can do about the Temple District. You got it, boss. I knew I could count on you.
Definitely Septimus's voice.
I'm Septimus. That was terrible. What are you talking about? I'm not so versed in the ways of you be persuasive in my speech, but I think if I continue some good works with the people, I can show them what good could come. I guess for us.
I've been doing good works for the people for months now. It helps, but I think we need more decisive action than that at this point. It's time for you to stand up. Rally your temple and anybody else you can find, and let your voice be heard. Work with me, and maybe we can bring some order to this chaos.
Well, that's what I was... It's more or less what I'm trying to say. It's just tricky. We don't want to escalate things to be even worse. The harder we squeeze, the more we may lose people between our fingers.
Don't squeeze. Caress, gently and sensually. But let them know that we're here.
We didn't start this escalation.
Fyrn's right. We didn't.
But it's here
We don't
now,
need-
and we've got to do something about it.
We don't need to put the pressure on. You don't need to be good with your words to be a good leader. Just remember that just let them remember at the end of the day, you're working miracles, and Mr. Greaves is not.
I think it would be smart if I started in the what's the name of the district that he's from?
The Widow's Ward.
Yeah, the Widow's Ward. I feel like those people are his core. You know, that's where he has all of his strength, and maybe if I could see how things are out there, perhaps I can maybe convince some people to move to our side, or I could at least get some information that we might be able to use against him.
I think that's a good place to start. And I do think your idea of finding a representative from all the districts to convene, if not for the election process, to mediate in the immediate future over this election and on future conflicts, is a good one.
Just that there's so much strife in all these areas. Finding a representative for each on such a short time frame will be difficult. Maybe if we can get Mr. Greaves to agree on that situation, we could maybe bump his time frame further down the line.
I'll work on something for the Hyvin Times. It'll be a public conversation with Mr. Greaves, one that everyone in Hyvin can read about.
I will begin to spread word that we are looking for people who wish to speak their mind to make Hyvin a better place and share their concerns and wishes for the future. But I can only send out the men that I have employed to do this. We might need more help.
We have friends. Don't worry. We have friends.
I could also offer up my temple to, I guess, lend an ear to those discerning voices that need to be heard, and get a word out that me and those that are following me, my disciples, can listen, hear what people have to say, and assure them that we will do our best to make sure that we get that word to those in charge.
Good.
Because that is the best way, I think, to convince them. And I think that you should write in your whatever piece that you write, that although his words may be eloquent and hold some truth to the emotion that the city is feeling, no one knows who he is. How could you trust someone who has not shown himself?
You're right. He doesn't walk these streets like we do. He doesn't talk to the people like we do. I've got something cooking.
Yeah, that's why I think you should run for Commodore.
In due time, Bruce.
1 week.
Let's start with Hyvin, and then we'll talk about Commodore Vision.
Okay. So as you all kind of digest the threat of Mr. Greaves in his corrupt political methods, propped up by racketeering and bribery, you have begun some first steps in your plan to address the syndicate and Mr. Greaves' political party. So you can return to your respective places or do something else collectively in the city. It's getting a little later in the afternoon now, but if there's anything particular you want to do on this day, or if you want to return to your abodes to plan what you want to do tomorrow for each of your individual places, the Temple Court, the Widow's Ward, the Academy, and the Hyvin Times.
So Jacquet will say he's going to do Kant.
Yes, that's
and
right.
welcomes, if anyone wants to come with him, more than welcome. It's not a secret meeting or anything. But that's, I think, his first point of contact with the current political structure within the city.
Might be good for the whole party to go to that, to have Ducant also see the rest of Iron and Mana as working with them on the political safety of Hyvin.
Yeah, sure. I think that's a great idea for today.
Okay. All right. So then you'll proceed into the Admiralty Court in your carriage. When you go into the Admiralty Court, it is definitely like night and day, though, where like you go in and it doesn't seem like anybody who is inside those walls were batting an eyelash at there being a mob outside. People are going about their day. It looks as if they were completely blissfully unaware of what was happening right on their doorstep, despite the guards being more activated at the front.
Seeing this, Jacquet mage hands up to like put a hand up in front of Septimus and goes, wait, one moment. And he's going to lean out of the carriage, because I imagine we've taken the carriage up into the Admiralty Court. And he's going to, again, with his doorway scepter as a microphone, he's going to say, do you know what's happening outside your walls? Walls, as it echoes along the stone of the buildings here.
People turn their heads. People in the park stop their picnics and their relaxation. There's murmurs. You see copies of the Hyvin Times in some people's hands. Like, they're reading it all. They're politically informed, so to speak, probably, but they don't seem concerned.
Could I use...
You've caught their attention for sure here.
Right.
I'm using Ithel Dagnir's ability to create like a chill of coldness that spreads along the crowd, just to freak them out a little bit, to get their attention.
Oh, absolutely. You get some gasps out of that. And at least one. Oh, good heavens.
These walls will not keep you safe forever. And the Commodore sees fit to leave you here alone. You can't ignore those below you forever. Trust me. I know. So wake up. And remember, you're citizens of this city too. Citizens of Hyvin, not just of the Admiralty Court. And he'll lean back into the carriage.
Certainly creates a chorus of murmuring amongst the different groups, people walking by. Some people just, like rushing their families along, others stopping and some looking concerned. Some looking for at least one or two people being like, where are the guards? Like, did they let the protest in? There's certainly, truthfully, probably the first non-newspaper-based injection of what's going on in the city to them, because even from your own knowledge, the Commodore's office has been trying to keep the Admiralty Court hushed and operating as normal. Right. Probably the only people in the Admiralty Court who are aware and informed of the rest of Hyvin's situation are the employees of Koboko. And then those merchants who obviously do participate in the lower city, but are kind of like, well, I live in the Admiralty Court and I deal with the Syndicate when I'm working. Who probably, you might even surmise, have their own opinions of like, I don't really care what happens either way, as long as whoever's in charge lets me keep making money.
Right.
The carriage can continue towards the Commodore's estate, and to the office out front where the governor liaison office is as well. No need to formalize it. You are respected by DuCont, so you're let right in, and led up the grand staircase to DuCont's office on the second floor. He's still in the same office, the same governor's section. He's not, despite, for all intents and purposes, kind of becoming a de facto leader in the Admiralty Court. He is stayed in his little corner office. But you enter, and he is wearing his waistcoat and sleeves rolled up, and whatever tie or ascot he has pulled off, and the first few buttons undone. His hair's a little messy. The pomade is not holding it in, as he's just like
there's an empty
leaning
glass.
Yep, as he's leaning over a pile of communications, and a map of Asia. Iron and Mana.
Jacquet will use Mage Hand to pick up. I assume he puts his whiskey in a decanter because,
yes, of course.
Why wouldn't he? To refill his glass and then fill a glass for the rest of us minus Septimus. He might still pour a glass for Septimus, at least just to, so he has it. Feel included. As he goes, well, we were just greeted by a lovely crowd outside your court gates.
My court, yes, it seems these days. I heard from some of the guard that some of the lower city residents had gathered. Did you disperse them?
They're gone. Seems they were rallied behind Mr. Greaves's most recent editorial, and he has operatives within their ranks trying to agitate even more.
He pulls up kind of like a paper, the paper, Hyvin Times, amongst all of his papers at the desk. I read it. He's not giving us enough time.
Well, you're always trying to buy time anyways, weren't you?
What do you need time for?
Any sort of actual process? Candidate?
What do you mean? Umadoi's your candidate, isn't she? Jacquet says as he sits across from DuCont in one of the chairs.
And he kind of looks at you and then finally sits down from his standing position and leans back and takes a long swig of the whiskey you poured him. And there's like this awkward silence as he's just sort of like clearly in thought staring directly at you, Jacquet. Umadori has claimed that there are other concerns in Asia she must attend to.
Of course there are. And all those concerns stem from the chaos happening in Hyvin.
There's elemental disruptions across Asia. Something has riled them up.
Ascendancy.
Yes. There's some unease in Stony Heath. Those in the southern forests are unhappy as well. The rail line is being disrupted. The docks are drip feeding food to the rest of the Aldhalor Islands. She's refusing.
Greaves.
I'm not supposed to be running this city. And if something isn't done soon, there won't be.
You
what
said
can
you
you
need.
do?
Yeah, what
Bruce?
can you do?
The thing I didn't want to do. Call in the governor immediately with a Zon fleet.
And
Bombard
say you
the
do
Widow's
that.
Ward.
Okay. And then what happens?
You know. They'll never accept the governor again.
And the governor knows this. He has to. He's not an idiot.
The governor has other factions whispering in his ears besides myself and Ezha. The Zon have always thirsted for Ezha. The Avenirians have their ambitions. This timeline is moving too quickly.
What if we make a proposal to him? A free Hyvin, not part of the Commodore's purview from Ezha City, but an independent city that's part of his, and rolling his eyes, Jacquet puts up finger quotes, crew.
He may be amenable to that because it's just another crew, as you said. He very quickly and like half-assed puts up his own quotation marks around that. But perhaps under the right person. And he just looks at you.
Well, we know Umadori wants nothing to do with this city anymore. Greaves will watch this city burn for his own damn pride. We need the people to decide who to lead them. And I know what Bruce has said, and I know what you're thinking.
Yeah, so
And of
make yourself
course-
available for it.
I will rise to the occasion, but he puts down his drink. I wanted the people to see that not just me, but we, gesturing to the rest of Iron and Mana, were the right ones to lead them. We all have our different roles to fill. But just like Hyvin, we're diverse, we're unique, and we're a hodgepodge of fuck-ups in our own ways.
Governor will want whoever leads this city, if it's to become separate from Ezha, be loyal to him.
Loyalty always comes at a cost, and your governor seems more than willing to negotiate when needed.
He is a tricky one. Sly.
I'm sure he is. You don't get to his position of power without cutting some throats, stabbing some backs, and generally going back on your word.
You're muted, Fyrn.
Umadori has failed you and us. The governor will not let that slide. If he finds out that she has lost her power and refuses to return, he will need somebody to uphold his own order. if he wishes to have strength here. And if that's Greaves, it's gonna be a rough time.
Governor respects strength. Right now, Mr. Greaves has strength.
So
He
do
respect- Which is why he chose you under the recommendation of Umidori. So perhaps we need to find a way to show Hyvin the first sanctioned adventurers are there for them, and you've already done so to an extent. So I think we need to, or what you need to do, hopefully, is continue to show them that, but also you need to all become part of Hyvin. Septimus, your temple is already beginning that in the temple court. Fyrn, your adventuring guild is showing that. Bruce, you have a place in the academy from what I've observed. Jacquet is a
Don't forget Koboko.
Jacquet is a entertainer.
Well, I entertain, but I also speak the truth. I touch the hearts and minds of these dear people.
Mr. Greaves would claim the same.
More of a philosopher, I'd say.
I just wish we knew more of what he wanted.
Do you have any information you might willing, unwilling, or unknowing be holding back about Mr. Greaves and who he really is? Anything at all you can think of? Anything that the Commodore might have left behind that we can use? A missive, something?
Give me a persuasion roll.
Oh. Okay, 28.
Okay. I can dig. I know of at least one thing that I might be able to get you. And he does smirk at you, Jacquet. Something I think you wanted a while ago.
Jacquet gives a
10
knowing
million
smile.
points.
Something you secured
Anything.
for her.
To help us in the next 6 days either find the bastard and nail him down for the corrupt criminal he is. Would be most appreciated, my friend.
In essence, you have like fully, to be transparent, you fully brought Decant into like supporting you, Iron and Mana, not as just sort of like a potential proxy or potential tool to use, but as like an alliance, which is why now he's going to transparently provide to you whatever he can find within the Commodore's manor. Pulling some strings, since he technically doesn't have the authority for some of these things.
Right.
But who the fuck else is leading this building?
A fucking vampire, that's who.
right. And he even says to you, "Is like, I will have to bypass or properly persuade who remains of her staff."
That dweeb, whose name I know. And I'm going to look up now. If that dweeb Doyle gives you any trouble, just remind him how much both
hate
you and Iron and Mana hate his fucking have done for this city and for the Commodore. And that right now, She's not here, and we are.
I'll work on
Oh.
that with as much haste as I can. Expect to hear word from me tomorrow in the morning, whatever I am able to acquire.
In the worst case scenario, Emil, how many men do you have that would fight on your side?
On my side,
For
I'm
the Admiralty
Hyvin's.
Court.
what I mean that in a oratory way of like I am an outsider in Hyvin. These guards have no loyalty to me. I don't even know what the fuck they have loyalty to. A paycheck right now.
Well, how many of those do you send out?
Well, I have taken over the budgeting department of the Commodore's Manor, to my own displeasure. Not many. There's a garrison in the Admiralty Court of 250 guards. There's well more than that in the lower city, of course.
If you can, I know that your guards are doing their duties in the Admiralty Court, but it would behoove our goals as well as your own to have your guards spread information about what's happening in the other parts of Hyvin. It's important that even the Admiralty Court, although, entitled as they are, understands the situation that they're living in. Maybe we could even convince some of them to come to our side. We know that they won't be welcome with Mr. Greaves, at least.
I think that depends on Mr. Greaves' plans. Some of the guards don't live in the Admiralty Court. So many of them have friends in the lower city.
All the more reason to try and gain their trust.
I could speak with their captain. Perhaps
well.
get him in touch with you, Fyrn.
I would like that.
Something else I'll work on. But I think for today at least, we keep working on these things. I'll work on getting you more information and you keep doing the good work you're doing in Hyvin. Think about what is the best thing we can do together to prevent any further devastation or lighting the fuse on this city.
Quit raises his glass. Good work. And finishes it.
Everyone make a Constitution saving throw. No.
Oh no!
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
Con.
kidding.
Except for Septimus, who doesn't drink.
Yeah.
I'm safe.
Actually, the milk he was drinking is spoiled.
Yeah, it's not even a
No.
plot or a conspiracy. It's just spoiled.
Right.
Damn. Weak stomach.
Too far away from the farm.
Must make a stomach machine.
You
Must
must
make stomach machine, indeed.
That's funny.
Well, all machine. All machine to do.
All right. So, as you leave the governor's office within the Commodore's manor and estate,
Mm-hmm.
you could return to the lower city and begin whatever you'd like to do for the evening. It's approaching 4:30ish.
Wait.
Yes.
Could I remain in the Admiralty Court for before I leave?
Sure. Absolutely.
Can I remain before I leave?
Of course you can.
Wait,
would you like to do?
before we leave, why don't we just be like, wait, what's going on? Where are we going now?
That's fair too. Yeah, I guess you guys step out and you're at the carriage, and you have an opportunity to discuss what each of you is going to do for the rest of the day.
I wanted to go have a word with Lucas. Some research that I was hoping that he could do for me. Because Lord knows I love to do it myself, but we have more pressing matters to attend to.
Which lord is that?
Lord.
You said Lord knows, and I'm just curious which lord.
Lord Machine.
Lord.
Oh, of course, the Lord Machine.
The machine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the spirit of the machine. Can't say the other way.
Whisper knows. Spirits know. Whatever you want to say. Jesus
of the radio.
Christ.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
That was my favorite part of the Saskia session, was when Giuseppe went, Jesus
I just
Christ.
couldn't help myself.
Right. You can't not say that.
Yeah, in that
I
accent.
just told
yeah.
Sean he just needs to make a Jesus Christ world.
We've confirmed that
There
he's-
was one.
Yeah, we in session 1, I think at one point Sean did say that Jesus Christ was canon.
Like
I don't
campaign
remember.
1 session early
Something,
on.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mostly
was-
because yeah.
And I just kept
A lot.
repeating it.
Yeah.
Oh, I was jokingly saying that it was another name for Zendario.
Probably.
Mm,
Because Tim couldn't stop saying Jesus Christ.
Yeah. The lips of a sinner.
But so Septimus is going
who's
to go
that?
speak with Lucas.
Lucas.
Septimus, this wouldn't be about that contingency I spoke to you about.
Contingencies.
It as a matter of fact,
I didn't hear the last part of your sentence.
I said as a matter of fact it is. Desperate times call for desperate measures.
All right, just be careful.
What contingency now? Share with the rest of the class, please.
It would be easier to show you, but now's not the time.
No, it's pretty important because it's vital. I mean, you're the one that brought it up. Remember, Fyrn had recently took me into the dungeon he had created in the Lighthouse District and showed me some of what he had learned of that demonic book that we came across many months ago.
Oh
Or
yeah.
it's coming back to Hyvin.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's been able to decipher, at least knowingly read the name of a seneschal of
Don't
grace.
say it.
I won't say the name,
I don't even.
but the fact that he knows this,
Well, yeah.
it piques my curiosity of how we be in the worst. I was hoping to just learn more.
Your voice is cutting off when you're getting low.
I was hoping to just learn more about, I guess, the devil's nature, what he may stand for. Just a little history.
The devil you know.
Okay. Also that book that Fyrn has, and definitely not me. It also contains the planar binding spell, if I remember correctly.
2 different books, but yes.
So to clarify, it's not a book that
It's a
Fyrn
scroll.
has. It's a scroll taken from the Infernal Lockbox. The book that was the spell book of the
Yes.
cultist
outside the
I
city.
stand corrected.
Yeah, that
Bruce
one is
an
still.
idiot.
Yeah, that one I believe is still in Bruce's
Definitely not
possession in the
Alex.
lead box.
Well, I mean, you
Yeah.
know, people keep calling the carriage a cart, so I get it when there's a little bit of confusion.
You've upset him.
I paid good coin for that carriage, goddammit, and I want it to be referred to suchly.
It's very nice.
Thank you.
It's
It
okay.
lives up here, rent
Yeah.
free.
With maps in brown. Which I
Anyway.
imagine over time have gotten like well groomed to match the carriage.
They've got embroidered
They've got
saddles
ribbons in their horsehair.
Yeah. with their names on it.
Okay, so Septimus is going to inquire about some information from the from Lucas and the
Lucas.
Lucas,
Lucas.
I believe was his name.
I think if it's possible, maybe we should go to the news house as quickly as possible.
The Hyvin Times.
That's what they call it, right? The news house.
The
I need
news-
to write the article first. You can't just go there.
Oh, when we were waiting for Dukan, I wrote something down on the piece of paper.
Yeah,
here.
no, I saw that, Fyrn. Maybe we'll write something.
I put it in your pocket. You sure you read it?
Yeah. I looked at it, saw it was from you, and promptly decided that I will write something. But time is needed to craft words, just as you would craft a sword or
All right,
a
well,
shield.
we're kind of short on time. Maybe I feel like the faster the response, the better.
Yeah, you
Maybe
would
we
think
could
that.
Work on that tonight.
No shit. I just said that I needed to go back and work on it.
Should I help you?
He holds up the piece of paper. I have your help right here, my friend. I appreciate it.
Okay.
I'm just picturing the freaking. If anybody watches Always Sunny, the freaking Charlie wrote for Dennis.
Oh yeah.
I lead power. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh goodness.
Just as crow milk on it.
Okay, so Jacques White is going to work on his response to Mr. Greaves. Septimus is going to go speak with Lucas about some lore about devils. Is there anything particular Fyrn and Bruce would like to do for the rest of the day?
I think Fyrn is gonna just start doing what he said he was gonna do and start just walking around the widow's ward, seeing what life's like down there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know, not trying to get into any trouble. If he
Yeah.
sees a friendly face, maybe talk to them, but you know, just keep a low, not keep a low profile, but like just openly walk around the streets and see how safe it is, or you know what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Brucey boy?
I imagine Bruce will actually go visit Sigil.
Absolutely.
With like the intention of just catching up with Sigil, but also maybe to stop in and grab any material that Septimus might need for some devils.
Some devil stuff. Okay. That makes sense. All right, before we jump into the rest of the day, I am going to throw us into a quick break. So we shall return shortly.
You can't just like gently place us.
Nope, you're getting tossed. Wait, I'm trying to get the timing right. And we're gonna take a break. Welcome back, everybody, to Adrift in Aldhalor. It's time for our heroes to take their first steps in combating Mr. Greaves' influence on the city of Hyvin. He has pushed the timeline forward by trying to force a vote in 6 days to try to claim some authority in Hyvin. They have just met with Emile Ducant, the governor's man, in the Commodore's offices, and they have made an alliance to try to create some kind of plan to counteract Greaves. Our heroes are off to do their own thing for the afternoon or the late evening, early evening. Septimus is heading to the academy with Bruce, but with different plans. They're both heading to the library. Septimus to talk to Lucas, Bruce to talk to Sigil. Fyrn is heading to the Widow's Ward to get a temperature check on the situation there, just to wander, not to cause trouble, just to see the people and maybe speak with any familiar faces. Jacquet has some writing to do. He's got to write his biggest article yet, his response to this open call for a slow coup from Mr. Greaves. So we'll jump into that. I want to start with Septimus and Bruce. So the two of you, easy enough. You have access to the academy. You don't need to talk to anybody. You have your access card, so to speak. And you can both head to the Endless Library where your contacts are. When you get to the Endless Library, if you recall, there is a kind of like front courtyard that is outside of the coronated sort of columned exterior of the library. And Bruce, you actually would see Sigil is out here. And you actually see there are like a dozen like children all around him. And he seems to be giving a lesson of sorts. Each of the children has a raccoon in their lap. A variety of elemental persuasions, as well as you can see some of the other like elementals from like the campus like elemental rehab that you saw many sessions ago. Like you see some of those earthen huggers, I believe I called them, or something else, where they were just sort of these big like behemoth like earth elementals that look very lazy. They almost have like a sloth-like look, that are there as well as what you can only surmise is a nascent Vescent blot that he is kind of like Sigil is handling, like where like he kind of like floats in his hand and he kind of like brings it over and it catches in the other hand, and he's like showing each of the children and he's doing some sort of lesson. As you guys approach, you would overhear him kind of concluding it. So, as you can all see, spirits, elementals, they may look like pets or animals or creatures of variety, but they are raw, untethered parts of our world, different from you and I, different from Olma. But they are spirits, and if you can understand them, you can find peace with them. But you must respect that they are wild, not tame. As one kid just like stands up and like holds the raccoon up into the air, like the raccoon's arms like stretched out.
I understand you.
Yeah, basically. It's like, peace. And the group laughs, and Sigil lets out a brief laugh before collecting the animals from them and dismissing this small group of children away. When he spots you and Bruce in the back, or Bruce and Septimus in the back. Ah, a pleasant sight.
Sigil, it's been too long. Quite an interesting sermon you've given. I would have also led that. I can think of elementals as children in the sense as well.
Curious
Their
observation.
naivete.
And will you
It's kind of hard to
attribute...
teach that to two children, though.
Well, I think I understand the perspective that Septimus is portraying, but naivete is a trait of Alma, typically. It's a miscalculation to call wild things naive when they don't have the capacity to even be naive or informed.
Yeah. We're looking for Lucas. Have you seen him around here? Or know where he may be?
Oh, the boy hardly leaves the library. But I don't have the heart to kick him out at night, so you can find him in one of the studies near my office.
Before we go, you know of what has occurred outside the gates this morning? Or the gates to the Admiralty Court? You should have seen the sight that we've walked back into the city.
I am aware. I have seen it with my own ways.
And I know that the Academy itself is not the governing body of Hyvin, but I would hope that you yourself and the rest of the professors have at least talked about ways of dealing with this vacuum of power. The masses are flocking towards this criminal, this madman, obviously Mr. Greaves, who seems to think himself a revolutionary.
The leadership of the Academy is meeting to discuss it. I will remind you that I'm not a member of the leadership of the Academy, though many respect me here. I do what I can in my capacity without unwarranted pressure. Though, Bruce, as I've told you, I wish to step from the shadows more. Unfortunately, a lot of what I can do without being unethical, as you all might say, involves slow work, like I'm doing here with these children. They don't grow up understanding elementals and the dangers of them. Then unfortunate things happen, and they won't learn to protect such things. That's a small thing, but it's what I can do in a more direct capacity for the long term. Of course, Bruce, there's much that we need to continue looking into or working on or debriefing together about grander things.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be surprised if this Mr. Greaves, some part in it. I don't know, I don't have any evidence, but someone working so recklessly towards something often inspires questions from someone like me of who is influencing them.
Right. What's motivating them? What's driving them to do this?
It could
Could
always
just
be
be-
pride.
It could always be pride. It could always be some Alma with a rich kid from overseas background, wanting power. I've seen the story before.
I wonder who you're talking about.
Anyway, but yes. I do.
Jacquette's ears go red wherever he is.
The more we find more about Greaves, or now that this spark has been, this fire has kind of been lit throughout the town, and it's caught our attention. If there's any sort of tools or knowledge that you can grant us, Sigil, during this time would be greatly appreciated. And who again are you most respected by in the leadership among the academy?
Who in the academy, you say?
I know this piece of information about you, Sigil, because we've hung out for 2 entire months.
Yes. Yes, of course.
But I just, off the top of my head, I cannot recall.
Well, I've had many a great conversation with Syrin Chevalier. Bronin and I have some disagreements, so it's less that we disrespect one another and more that he is more preoccupied with his own inventions. Aoife Valentine respects me, fond of me, maybe not as much, but Trina and I get along very well. There are many others in the academy, some that I am on good terms with, others that I am not, such as Cadmus. But until recently, I've tried to stay out of the way of the academy's work, so long as they allow me to stay in the libraries.
Absolutely.
Though at this point, I doubt they could root me out. And he kind of looks at you, Bruce, having seen the deeper caverns of his library.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wish to speak with Lucas, of course, I can bring you to him.
Please. Be great.
Of course. Right this way. And you walk into the large double doors of the academy, where you see the typical vision of the towering walls of books, the stacks of books near the walls, the precarious candles everywhere that don't seem to burn any of the books, wax dripping on shelves, things like that, with the splaying columns that go up to the tall vaulted ceilings. You walk past the column holds his circular office to a back area where there are private studies. You can see people moving about who are students or pupils of Sigil's, as well as other folks, as well as the clockwork automatons that kind of are custodial forces for here. And he gives a gentle rap on the door, as you can hear shuffling inside before the thin, pale, probably paler now that he spends all his time in the library, Lucas Pascal is on the other side. The door opens. He goes, "Oh, Sigil, a pleasure to see you again. Septimus, Bruce, it's been a long time since I have seen you."
It's been quite a while. How have you been here, doing with your studies?
Well, it's amazing, in short. Sigil has even legitimized my documentation.
Well, that's
I,
wonderful.
Of course, I'm appreciative of Iron and Mana getting me in here.
Well, you've proved your work time and time over. I was hoping that you might be able to assist us once again with some research.
Of course, I owe you so much.
As we were just describing to Signal, the political state of Hyvin is going to be a little burdensome on us, which is why I'm asking you to do this on our hands. Coming across the name of powerful devil upon our travels. Wanted to know a little bit more about being. So I was hoping if you could delve in to find more about the Seneschal of Grace, I believe was the title. Whose name was?
Don't ask me.
Zagdorak.
was it?
Zag Drorak.
Yes, of course I can do some research in this, and Sigil, I be happy to work with you as well if you have any knowledge of this.
We came across, just a little bit of backstory, we came across a group of cultists outside of Hyvin several months ago. Kidnapped a poor young woman who we ended up saving from certain death for sure. But they're performing some ritual with a skin-bound book. And after long reading, our compatriot Fyrn, who knows the infernal language, was able to decipher this from there.
The name of the seneschal comes from the scroll, not the book, from the ritual.
Oh my god. He messed this up. The scroll.
From the locket you found in the
Yes.
tower in Stormbreaker Landing.
Then, thank you. Sorry.
Of course, do you have the document? It might help my research to be able to look at it.
I don't, but I can ask Fyrn if he'd be willing to part with it, if it would help in that.
Or while you talking about it with Fyrn, I can look into this Seneschal of Grace. I'm sure there is some poem upon the hells here in the library. And Sigil interrupts. There's certainly a lot of literature about the hells here. And I can tell you at the very least, off of the top of my experience, a Seneschal is a title of a commander of a legion of hell. A direct servant of what are known as Didacs, who are the sole rulers of a plane of hell, or a level in some translations, or a world in some translations. 9 in total. But I'll let Lucas look into this, and perhaps with what he comes up with, I can embellish upon.
Very good.
And I would ask, perhaps, Bruce, any information you could share with me on this figure, Mr. Greaves? Any curiosities you all have about him? I might be able to do some work on your behalf to uncover information.
So, I don't have a ton of information because he, is hiding. He's always just been a name, no figure. But there was a run-in one time where, what's her name? Down by the dock, starts with a W.
Winifred.
Winifred, thank you. When she went to go meet a figure, we followed her. She spoke with like a shadowy figure. I mean, like, can I make an assessment of like aberration?
It would be entirely a guess from Bruce.
Yeah, I figure. Yeah, just a shadowy figure with a slightly demonic voice.
Shadow. The magical
Yes.
shadow.
Yes.
It sounds similar to the Shadowmancer you all fought in Billergrass. Perhaps Mr. Greaves isn't using some shadow magics of sorts. Are any other interactions you've had with him to indicate any other magical uses?
He does. I don't know if he has this ability or one of his scallywags. Ability to enchant items at an excessive rate. And also put I'd say a curse on these items as well. So he has that ability as well.
Are there any other strange items you've had the opportunity to interact with that come from him?
I have altered it. Nope. And Bruce is gonna open up the lead box and open up that like a item that leaves a tracking dust, or I don't remember what oil.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like a fiendish spectral aura mark. That the best way to put it is like an oil, because it spreads like an oil and doesn't clean well like an oil.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Bruce is gonna hold it up and just hold, like, he's holding it in his hand because Septimus and him spend time to
Right.
alter it.
I forgot about that.
Sigel's eyes glow for a moment, which is however you would feel about it, disconcerting or intrigue, or it completely obliviates like the human part of him, because the only human part of him is his eyes. So like, because of his mask and his wrappings, and you can tell, Bruce, that he's just casting his own like version of detect magic. Fiendish origins.
That's right.
There might be more to this Greaves than I thought then, even with what I said earlier. He's dealing in shadow magics and fiendish magics and dubious enchantments. It's quite a lot for a merchant, as I read earlier. Even a criminal.
That's correct. Yeah, that's why we are very much against his rhetoric and what we know about him.
Could there be such a force under my nose? He seems to be talking to himself there. I have grown stagnant. This will be a priority for me, Bruce.
Oh, okay.
Though I am between here and the north, continuing the work of breaking down the god corpse up there. And we have more work to discuss as well.
Right. Yeah, just tell me where I'm needed. But I know a lot of our focus is going to be on Hyvin. I've got one other question for you, Sigil.
Of course.
Do you know anything about within the Arduni? They're not full-blown elementals, but they seem to be individuals within the Arduni higher rank that are Alma, or at least once were Alma. I can't tell if they still are, but they've received somewhat of like a blessing from an elemental to the point where they are almost elemental themselves. Can you explain this further? We met this individual by the name of Ilyuvala. Ilyuraya, that one.
Ilyuvanya. No.
Ilyuvaya.
It was there the whole time.
It was there the whole time.
Ascendant, you called them.
I don't think he did, but
I didn't, but yes.
Oh, my bad.
You reading minds there, Sigil?
Sometimes, no. Intriguing.
Could you tell me more about that process? Sorry.
I was unaware that the Arduni had reach that state. It's different from a Genasi. Genasi are born with their Alma touched by elemental forces. They are somewhere between elemental and humanoid. They are still Alma, though, and these beings are still Alma as well, but they undergo a powerful ritual to be infused with elemental power. Often by a powerful elemental spirit. Or there's ways of forcing such magic through more brutal ritual that is more damaging to the Alma involved. Akin to warlocks in some sense, where it might be a partnership. Or akin to someone harnessing magic that is too powerful for them. So, one of two things, they are performing a brutal ritual upon themselves to remove them. And he looks to Septimus to alter their flesh permanently. Or they have some patron or deal with sentient elemental spirit.
Which do you think is more likely?
Knowing the ascendancy and their extremism. Brutal ritual, I believe.
All right. Yeah, because apparently there are many of them like this, so... Yeah, okay. I just wanted to inform you of that and also pick your brain about it.
Yes, it's actually perplexing. It could mean many things. It's not impossible that it's a patronage, but it would be surprising. I'll need to look into this as well.
All right. And anything you can give us that could help tackle the Ardunai would be...
I can work faster than Lucas. So I will take up this research on my own. Of course, Lucas, you can help. Lucas immediately had the saddest face ever when he said, I'll take this research up on myself. So it won't take us long. Return in 2 days.
We'll be back.
And I will certainly have more for you on the Ardunai's rituals and your Seneschal of Grace.
As always, Sigil, thank you again.
Yes. You've always been such a great help.
Well, like I've said before, you, Iron and Mana, and the work you've done has helped inspire me. It's much work for us all to do. So, 2 days. And Sigil and Lucas walk off as Sigil indicates to him to come, we have work to do. So, we'll jump over to Fyrn, who is walking up Main Street through Cross Alley into the Widow's Ward. So, is there anything particular you're looking for here, Fyrn, or particular insights into the life here?
I wouldn't say super particularly. I definitely want to scour the streets just to see how people are living, but I will take any opportunity there might be to, talk to somebody if there's someone who's like willing to speak to me. I know it's not that like kind of type of town, but I just want, it's pretty much more like I want to see for myself what day-to-day life is around here, and I also want to make my presence known that I'm here and I'm, taking the effort to come here. I might even start like unconsciously heading towards the otter business. Yeah, just because I figure that's like the central location. And I mean, technically, I was kind of invited there, but like, to bring somebody, but I don't have anybody with me.
So I'll say first insights that you see just from your typical stroll in that would have been the path you normally would have walked. One, the entrance to the side street of Crass Alley that leads to the De Leon brothers' home,
right?
Has a tall wooden fence and gate built into it in the same way the kind of like makeshift gate house was in front of that house. So it seems as though if the De Leon brothers have kind of like reinforced their base.
Gotcha. Okay.
And there's no visible guards in front of the De Leon brothers alley. If you were to stay long enough, you would see if a person goes up, they knock on the gate, a little slide opens up. Some conversation happens, it closes, the gate opens slightly. And when I say gate, I really mean two large doors. It's a makeshift. It's more like a fence door that has a overhead. So the De Leon brothers have maintained their foothold in the Widow's Ward, but have clearly reinforced themselves, and not because of you guys, I guess is the best way to say that. As much as they may have at first feared you might be back here for vengeance in the first night, you guys kind of hostilely became neutral. As far as they're concerned. Of course, you guys may feel differently. But once you pass through Crass Alley, and again, it's not unlike the very first times you've come up through here, where there are a lot of people who come in and out of this way. There are a lot of buildings that have way more private-looking shops in the front than the main street, where you might find people like inviting people in. It's way more like if you know the guy, and you can go in. But once you enter into Widow's Ward proper, which in the past you've entered in and it's been sort of like people hanging out on the streets, people going about their business, now there is a guard presence, so to speak, in that you can very clearly identify people who are not necessarily in uniforms, who are standing about keeping an eye on things, and who also very clearly have weapons on them. Whether it is just a simple metal pipe, or it is a sword at the waist, or a crossbow, or other things.
Any like obvious visible magic items that people use, like the ones that the
Yes, I would say yes.
Okay.
You can definitely see like somebody who is like in like dirty working like dock working clothes, who also happens to have like what are clearly elegant bracers of defense.
Gotcha.
Or somebody who has a sheathed wand at their waist that might be similar to the gnome that had the wand or fireballs in the front. Like these, there's definitely this. There's also way more open trading happening. So while other factions were hawking goods in the Lighthouse District, the markets of the Widow's Ward are well alive. And you actually see a lot of people from the other districts here, because this is where they can most likely buy goods from outside of Hyvin. Because of their interference at the docks, that most goods coming from outside of Hyvin are being rerouted to the Widow's Ward. Or are being forced to be sold in the Widow's Ward via racketeering and bribery.
Okay.
So it's kind of has a flea market vibe in that sense.
Okay.
And you actually would see a familiar face here, because you imagine that the other flea market here you haven't really heard about or didn't see when you walked in. And you see Torcal here with his own stand.
Yeah, I guess I could walk up to Torcal and see what's going on.
He's kind of like very like bored sitting there, with a like sourpuss on his face as he's sort of sitting there, and you actually see he's just sort of like playing around with the reacher grabber Septimus made him. Just like sort of like lifting up like one of his little like scraps. And then he sees you and he goes, "Ah, no. Fear, no. What do you want?"
Wondering what you were doing here.
Kind of like looks around. He's like, "It's a market. It's the only market in town anymore, unless you own your own building. And even then, if you own your own building, you gotta kind of gets quite pay these fuckers." What are you doing here? I thought you guys didn't come around here anymore.
We're trying to make the place better, the town better. I mean, I might as well see, what these people have been doing to it. Tell me what happened. Like, didn't you have a market with your own store? Like,
I had a stall at the flea market, and once the goods stopped coming through Main Street and started going through Cross Alley, not a lot of people were coming to my area. Oh, and then those fucking elemental assholes started to cause street fights in the area, and this is the only safe place to sell goods if you don't own your own building.
if there were, I mean, how could this happen? Do you get all your goods from the docks, or?
You know I don't get all my goods from the docks, but I have to be here to look normal.
You don't need to be here to look normal. We can find some place better for you if you're worried about these people strong-arming you.
I don't want to go sell my goods out front, outside of the city. And that's the only other place you can sell goods unless you have your own shop.
What about the Lighthouse District?
It's trading one racketeer for another. Well,
Is it?
and then he looks at you. You. Oh. I did hear there was a shift there, but I figured the Chroma Fist were going to come after you.
We have a bit of an understanding, and if they were to, contest anyone, it would probably be the AEC, not me.
Well, I heard the AEC patrols the Lighthouse District. This is the only district that they don't come to.
That could change easily.
Well, I'd certainly rather sell in a place protected by iron and mana than Syndicate.
Tell your friends. We'll make this happen.
Do you all still have beef with the De Leon brothers?
Fyrn kind of just shrugs, and only if they have beef with us. I don't particularly like their tastes in things, but I suppose any enemy of Mr. Greaves is okay by me.
Well,
And I am lowering my voice as I'm having this conversation because, I can tell that he's like
Yeah,
nervous
yeah.
about.
Okay. That might be a good solution. I'll get back to you. See if I can get some other stalls interested.
If you're having trouble convincing them, just look to the old market districts, the parts of town that are run by small businesses. I'm sorry I neglected, your market so uh, so far, but I'm here now to try and help. I've done a lot for the people of Hyvin, and I plan to do more.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest problem for the small stands is the Chroma Fist. And it's not like they target us, it's just they're so rampantly wild and neglectful of the collateral damage if they're spat with the AEC. So if the AEC's not in the Lighthouse District, we might be able to make something out of that. Remake the old market.
I think it's a good idea. And if there's ever any attack or you feel unsafe, my fortress is there as a fallback position. If you
Okay.
come needing help, we'll do our best to keep you safe.
Oh, speaking of needing help, I've been working mostly with the De Leon brothers since they're the only shop in town who can get things in past the docks, past Mr. Greaves. Maybe I can help you out in return. I don't know about what you guys are packing now that you're back from wherever you went, but I've got some interesting goods I've been able to get from a special supplier that state of the art, so to speak. And I heard a little rumor about some of the stuff you guys have collected in your journeys. So tell your friends with the of the more artificing mind that I've got some interesting goods. Maybe I can meet them in Lighthouse District at your stronghold sometime, where it's a little safer to talk about these things.
Sounds like a plan. I'm sure they'll be interested. We've got a lot of coin nowadays.
Excellent.
Tell me, is there anything else you could tell me about the Widow's Ward, since you've been working here for a while? Besides your own business, have you heard any strange rumors? Anybody giving your people a particularly large amount of trouble?
So long as you sell here, and majority of your goods are coming through their ports, and you don't piss off any of the inner circles, the last thing you want is for Miss Orkwood to show up at your stall randomly one day. I've seen some other stalls disappear. So, and it's between Miss Orkwood and her lackeys and the political types at the Otter business. It's not that bad. It's not as fun. It's a little depressing. But as long as you fall in line.
Do you know where Miss Orkwood or her men usually hang out?
In the north part of town, the abandoned buildings. That's It's where I suppose people say and kind of his eyes look around. Syndicate houses themselves ever since the outer business went straight.
Right. Like that'll ever happen.
Well, there's no fight night anymore. Just weird diatribes from drunk politic types.
You
Beer's still good. Beer's still good though.
beer's better in the Lighthouse District nowadays. I know that much.
You don't
there's a new
gotta
bar
sell
down
me
there.
anymore on the Lighthouse District. I've heard about the Gloveless Cat. I've considered stopping by, but it's just very tired lately. To work
Yeah.
double time to get my goods past the port. Anyway,
We all do what we have to do.
Yeah.
Just keep your head down.
sure. Stop by your fort tomorrow. Tell your friends.
Very well. And Fyrn will basically like head out, like he was
Mhm.
gonna walk away, like further down towards the outer business,
Mm-hmm.
and he just thinks to himself for a second, and then turns around, and I think he's gonna head back towards the De Leon brothers' fortress thing or defenses.
Okay. Do you knock on the door?
Yep.
You see some
You
eyes
know
on
who
the
I
other side.
am?
Closes. Opens back up. White eye. What do you want?
The brothers inside. I want to talk to them.
They only meet on appointment. You don't got one.
Tell them they can make an appointment at the fortress. Send one of their lackeys. But if they don't, they might see a different type of point.
You sure that's the message you want to send?
I think they'll appreciate it.
I'll pass the word on, White Eye.
I spit on the ground and walk away.
So there's some guy just like sitting on like a barrel. Goes, "Hey, don't spit on the ground."
Fuck off.
Ah, Jesus Christ. Who? I thought Iron Man was cleaning up this city. All right. All right. So, Fyrn, do you head back to your fort and your area?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So, Jacquette, you're back at your. Are you at your establishment writing this or elsewhere? Okay.
Yep.
Septimus and Bruce, are you heading back to your respective places for the evening? Okay. Bruce, where are you staying tonight?
Well, if I head back with Septimus, I'll probably see if I can.
Stay in the temple.
Bruce would probably stay
In his tower.
Jacquette's tower. Yeah.
Or in the establishment?
The establishment, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So, Bruce, you can go back to the establishment with Jacquette, and stay in one of the rooms set aside. I imagine Bruce or Jacquette, there's always like priority room for Iron and Mana.
I actually imagine that not many people stay at the Gloveless Cat. It's not a place you stay.
Yeah.
It's more like if Jacquette needs to board someone, that's where they go. So yeah, there's always a place for
Perfect.
Iron and Mana there.
Excellent. All right, so Fyrn is staying in his lodgings at the fort. Septimus is at his private quarters in the temple, and then Jacquette and Bruce are in the establishment. Cool.
And I will say I'll take some time to, like speak to my recruits in the afternoon or morning, whatever is easier, just to relay some information. Like we are currently, keeping the AEC at arm's length. We have a truce, a tentative truce with the Chroma Fists. They won't attack us if we won't attack them, but we must defend our territory. And I invited some traders to come tomorrow, and we're going to, try and treat them with courtesy and protect them if anything happens.
Okay, excellent. Okay. All right. So it's the evening at this point. Is there anything that you all would like to do before you go to bed?
Do not think so.
I imagine that Jacquette would have finished his editorial and sent a runner with it up to the Hyvin Times to make sure it's published in tomorrow's paper.
Perfect. They keep their presses up late, so you can definitely do that.
I imagine Bruce wouldn't go right to bed. I imagine Bruce would be in the establishment. Having a light drink, as it were.
Yeah, so I imagine like you catch Jacquette sending his courier off with his manuscript. So Jacquette, you see
manuscript's a big word.
Yeah. Bruce, as you're sitting there, Jacquette's over there. Orin is just kind of washing a glass like any kind of late night bartender. It's
same glass for the next hour.
Yeah, it's not. It's the main crowd for this evening is kind of sauntered off, and it's just you're the primary client right now.
After seeing the runner off, Jacquette spies Bruce at the bar and goes, "Ah, brave Bruce, my friend. Spending the night here?"
Yeah, I don't feel like walking across the entire town just to get to the academy. Anyway, hey, I know that we've talked about. Sorry, I still have this on my mind. The Aradunai, Fiora.
Yes.
Her captivity. I know that we spoke as an idea, breaking her out. But what if I send her a message to see if she's still alive? What if she's not alive?
Well, I don't see the Ascendancy as gamblers. They're not gonna bluff. They're not gonna claim to have her when they don't. I'll admit it does weigh on my mind, but unfortunately there's always more pressing matters. Fiora's not going anywhere. But the sanity of this city seems to be on its way out.
Right. Just so you're aware, we did speak with Sigil, and he's going to be looking into some of the ascendants, and Mr. Greaves has a being, and whether or not he's potentially an Alma or.
Oh, a connection to that fiendish gift he gave me.
You got it.
Well, good. I'm glad Sigil has lended us his aid in this.
He said 2 days, so in 2 days.
Ah! Well, who knows? In 2 days, Mr. Greaves will have started a riot in this town, but...
He already has, actually.
That's...
Not a full-flown riot.
me.
That was a protest.
You should see the lower city of Domuzerum when the workers get all riled up. I don't want to brag, but I kind of caused it one time. The guilds were not happy with my father.
Well, I'll tell you another thing is Koboko is very happy about this because I imagine they're going to be wanting to reinforce for future protests, given the scenario that happened this morning.
Again, Septimus seems to understand this, but the optics is what we really need to be working on here, Bruce. To have the Admiralty Court shoring up their defenses only proves Mr. Greaves' point about a us versus them mentality.
True. Yeah,
I would rather see those...
I'm not in support, but I could foresee that happening. And Koboko being very happy about it.
I'd rather Koboko focus their efforts on cleaning up the Lighthouse District and maybe doing something about that cabbage town. Either taking down the walls at the edge of the city or finally making them into something not so haphazard. But
I'll try to make sure that the salespeople at Koboko and the really
does Koboko have a non-profit arm that would maybe do work pro bono, maybe for tax write-offs? I'm sure we could work something out with the governor.
Well, I think we would need to get that in writing from the governor first.
What about the word from a good friend?
I've pushed that limit a little too far.
Fair.
Well, did you plant the little thing that I asked you to?
Jacques reaches into his lapel pocket and pulls out the little tracker and just like fidgets with it between his fingers. I haven't had the chance yet, but I still do question spying on one of our own. I know you do it, you mean to do it from a good place. Only concern for Septimus. But... and he catches it in his hands. He knows what he's doing.
See, look, I haven't dealt a lot with outer plane beings. Personally, like a direct connection. But everyone I see gets heavily influenced by them very rapidly. Look at Saskia, for example.
Saskia does not have the willpower Septimus does. She has many things. She has more spirit than I think the four of us combined, if I'm being honest. But at the end of the day, she still believes some of the bullshit I spew. So I don't know if she's the best litmus test for influence from extraplanar creatures.
Well, either way. I don't have experience with it, but a lot of situations that were put in are duly based on people going crazy from outer world beings.
You're not wrong. And I may come to find my trust in Septimus misplaced, but I don't foresee that future coming.
All right. Well, it's still a neat device. We could use it for other purposes.
Oh, I actually realized just now that I fucked up by not placing it in the pocket of that stupid orc bouncer. That would have been so smart of me. Hindsight, though. There's always next time.
Yeah. Or you could just, No. I was going to say give it to Fyrn, but that's probably not a good idea.
So what? I just hear all the things he says?
Well, yeah, I would hear it.
Oh, right. I don't think you want to hear more of Fyrn.
No, I'm good.
But I will hold on to this, and I'll let you know if and when it's used. As to your original question about Fiora, it can never hurt to check in on someone we hope to be a friend.
Sure. Bruce is going to take out his little pipe and cast sending.
What do you say?
Hey, Fiora. It's Bruce from Iron and Mana. Where are they keeping you? Are you okay? Okay. Yeah, okay. Can you tell us anything?
Second.
Mississippi? Any response?
I'm going to do a unique thing here. Bruce, give me a spell attack roll.
Ooh.
Do I get advantage or any bonuses, Sean?
No.
That will be a 26
Okay.
to hit.
To hit. Bruce, you know that something started to block your magic. And then you were able to bypass it. Like your magical power is stronger than what was trying to keep your spell from reaching Fiora.
Okay.
And then after a few moments, you do get it takes a little long for you to get the response. And there's like a moment where like Bruce, maybe you like start to like feel like this unfinished sense to the spell, as opposed to like the spell not landing. And then it gets through, and you hear back. Bruce. I think they're keeping me underneath the red dandelion. I don't know what to tell you. Why are you contacting me? Why do you care? And you know Fiora is was a powerful enough bard to understand the sending spell, so she doesn't expect an answer. It's just like almost a statement to you.
Well, she's underneath the red dandelion.
So I was right in assuming they were keeping her close.
Yeah. Yeah, she was curious why I even bothered messaging her. Definitely not texting or calling. That's definitely not what went through my mind first.
Yeah, you know, in some circles we call the sending spell texting because you have to write down 25 words beforehand to make sure your text is right. It's the trend in Halcyon. The kids love texting in Halcyon.
Yeah, that's where my business cards come from. Anyway, I might go to bed.
Okay. Good
Thanks,
night, Bruce.
Nah.
As Bruce wanders away, Orin looks at you, Jacques. Nightcap, boss.
Hit me.
He grabs you can tell he grabs the nice glassware from underneath for you, and he just grabs a nice gin and begins to make a quick cocktail for you. As he looks and he goes, "Hey, you look stressed."
I never cared about anything until I ended up in this damned city. And I don't know why I care now. But it's exhausting.
As he does a quick shake. Well, what ignites the fire in a man's heart is a mystery.
Hyvin is definitely a mystery to me.
Well, once the heart's ignited, it's either going to burn forever or it'll smolder out into nothing.
It almost smoldered. But luckily I had some friends help to reignite that flame.
There you go, boss. Clean up.
Jacques just gives him a little cheers and takes the drink into his bedroom to go to bed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You all find some rest. In the night, under the darkness of the last month of shadow, peeking out during the day, the sun peeks out, but at night it's still the dark of the long dark. The moons of Ilyavania creating some ghostly light, but shadows abound throughout the city. Adventurers patrol the walls of Fyrn's fort. Disciples sleepily pray before retiring to their own cots or own homes. Orin puts the chairs on the table and locks up. The torches flicker on the walls of Fyrn's fort. All the lights are out in the establishment as Orin puts any candles out, and Jacques and Bruce lay in their beds. Even the illusory blue ritual flames of the temple flicker as something crawls across every shadow in every establishment, every fort, every temple. Crawling, shifting, laying in wait, squeezing through the smallest cracks as things of incorporeal shape can. What's everyone's passive perception?
18.
20.
14 for me.
17.
17.
If it matters,
Mhm. It does.
Sean,
It most likely does.
I have to get to the page. Oh shit, I went too far. In my establishment, one ally per level of my stronghold can hide in my demesne, and no mundane or magical means can reveal their location. It doesn't work on me.
Okay.
Creatures trespassing in the rogues establishment have the overwhelming sensation they are being spied upon, and when a creature hostile to the rogue and aware of their existence finishes a long rest. Okay, that doesn't matter.
Okay.
So really, the big thing is that like I imagine that whoever stays at Jacquette's establishment is hidden. So Bruce would be hidden, and should a creature trespass, they just feel like they're being spied upon.
Makes sense. No, that is important, actually. It's very important, actually. Because one less shadow is creeping through cracks in the walls and cracks all over. But Septimus, you awake feeling a sense of unease. Like you are being spied upon. You wake up and you look around the room and notice that the shadows are deeper and darker. You can't help but feel a similar feeling to how you felt. Like it almost brings back negative memories of the frozen north when you would see those perfect shadows and knowing that there was shadow entities in there watching, waiting for the light to disappear to attack. Do you do anything? There's no necessarily like a sense of like you've seen someone, but you have this unnatural feeling that you're not alone in your room. I'll give you a second to think about it while I go back to Fyrn and Jacquette.
I was gonna say I have a stronghold thing too that's might be relevant, but I don't even know if this is like I don't even know what this means, to be honest. This
read it
is
out.
just something that's written out. Menhirs, which I googled and kind of look like they're like stone statues, kind of like Stonehenge, appear in the fighter's demesne, following anyone hostile to those who call this province home, imposing themselves between intruders and the locals. But I'd assume that has to do with the entire fighter's demesne, not just the fortress, like the area surrounding it.
Yeah, truthfully, I'm realizing we never really discussed your demesnes because they are... You don't just get every single demesne, it looks like.
It was all basically DM choice in the book. It said you could either have one or more than one, but you discuss it with your DM, sort of thing.
Something we didn't properly discuss.
Yep. Also, I had a custom-made one that I was gonna pitch for you that I wrote in the thing, but you know. You can say no. I'm cool with it.
I'm going to proceed because the Menhir one on here is pretty powerful and vague. Honestly, the fighter ones are the more like difficult to translate than the rogue ones. which feel pretty
Mhm.
straightforward because they're built for the like warfare aspect of MCDM. I'm in a sticky spot here, truthfully.
Can I maybe offer a compromise sort of thing?
Sure.
Instead of these menhir's ability or whatever it is, could we just say that like the guards that would typically be on duty get an advantage to perception of your choosing? And that's only Fortress, not the whole area?
Oh, I hate these fortresses a little bit sometimes.
Like maybe just
It's
like
just-
a +2 bonus? Like nothing crazy?
I get it. Yeah, let's get a perception roll for your followers.
Okay. That's cool. I have their stats if you want me to actually roll their rolls.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so we usually use Dex, right? No, it's Wisdom.
Perception is wisdom.
Yeah. Okay.
Dexterity. I dexterously perceive this.
Dexterity.
And I'm gonna say this is a stopgap for today because it's the end of the session and not time to completely rehash the strongholds.
All of them are terrible at this, just so you know. The highest was a 15,
Okay.
which is one better than my passive perception.
Okay, then we're going to proceed and we'll discuss Demesne, how we want to use the Demesne effects in the future. Because I just think we need to rehash the fighter ones.
Yeah.
Because they're a little vague and suited towards not the play style we're doing.
I
Versus
agree.
the establishment that is probably the most geared towards regular play. I'm waiting for as soon as I start continuing for Septimus to be like, wait, there's a Demesne effect.
I'm reading them. I see them.
No, I
Nothing
know,
affects it.
No, I know. Oddly enough, I started reading these. But anyway, doesn't matter. Let's continue with the scene now that it's been thoroughly interrupted to the point of being kind of awkward.
Septimus would,
Yeah.
feeling uneasy, kind of like chill. He would cast Detect Evil and Good.
Excellent.
Kind of scanning the room and looking in like the darkest spots.
Septimus. In the corner of the room is, and you mostly see the aura of the creature. Oh, sorry, I'm the one who burped on screen.
Oh damn!
For the first
I
time.
thought that was a. I thought that was a
That's
sound
the
effect
now
for a
that's
second.
that,
Hell yeah.
no. You hear the fiend in the corner burp out.
It's a fiend?
You do
Point of
get
exhaustion.
fiendish.
Point of exhaustion to that.
You
fiend.
do see fiendish energy in the corner. But before you can do anything, I'm going to resolve Fyrn and Jacquette's fiendish energy.
Oh, boy.
Before really kind of asking you what you want to do and concluding the session to start it next week because we're so late. Fyrn, you don't sleep in your armor.
Makes sense.
What's your AC without your armor?
I believe it's 13?
Okay.
Constitution plus my armor bonus for just armored bonus for my defense feat. Or whatever. Oh, while you're wearing light, heavy, or medium. Never mind. It's 12. 12.
Jacques, what's your AC without your armor?
15.
Okay, 12 and 15. Okay. Fyrn, we'll go with you first.
Okay. If it's a ranged attack, they have disadvantage.
It's not.
And I'm lying also because that's also a heavy armor thing.
Yeah, it's going to hit you, Fyrn, with a 25. Jacques.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna hit you with a 27.
I'm
You
assuming
both
I can't use a reaction.
you can't because you're sleeping, which is
We're unconscious.
yeah, you're unconscious. You're unconscious.
I got you.
Thank you. You both awake in a horrifying fright as you both feel a dagger stab into each of your chests. You each take. Well, I'll do one at a time. Oh, shit! That's
75.
BBD5?
Maybe.
Take 75 silver coins of damage.
What?
He just stabs into my wallet.
Yes. Every time you buy an item, you take that much
You take BBD
money damage.
29, 29 necrotic damage.
Ooh.
And you fall into a deep sleep.
I need you both to give me Constitution saving throws.
Constitution.
Do I also take 29? Was that for both of us?
That was Fyrn. Sorry, that was Fyrn. Let me do your
Okay.
damage. Because I wanted to roll
What was,
separately.
what was
Roll.
the saving throw? I didn't hear.
Con. Jacques, you take 26.
I got a 16. Did I fail?
Hey, I got a 16 too. Con save twins.
If I failed, I could re-roll it if I have with Indomitable.
I'm sorry, what did you get?
16.
And Jacques, what did you get?
16.
Okay. Those both fail.
Okay, I'm
Yep.
gonna use a thing of Indomitable to re-roll with a new bonus.
I'm gonna use my legendary resistance.
Does a 41 pass, Sean?
Oh, Jesus.
No. Sorry.
How did you get a 41?
I get a plus 13 bonus when I use Indomitable.
Wait,
Yeah.
how did you...
Wait.
What?
If you fail the saving throw, you could re-roll it with a plus 13 bonus. You must use the new roll. You
Yeah,
can use-
so it's whatever you rolled plus 13.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought I
it's
still
not.
get
It's
to
not
add
on
my
top
other
of
thing.
your saving. Yeah, it's not on top of your.
All right,
saving
well
throw.
then it's only a 30.
Still
Okay.
good.
Still
good.
really good, but within the realm of possibility.
Yeah. All right, I have to re-roll this. I lost count of everything. Fyrn, you do pass. You'll take half damage. Jacques, you fail. Jacques, you take 29 poison damage.
Okay. Sean, when a creature is unconscious, an attack roll that is made within 5 feet of you is an automatic crit. Just gonna throw that out there. So,
Yeah, it is.
Get dunked on.
Okay. Jacquet, I will give you some more damage.
I was just assuming that he was already calculating that.
Nope, I wasn't, because I forgot about that. I always forget about that, truthfully. Okay. Jacquet, you take another
So it would
42
only-
damage.
That's just from the
dagger.
piercing, right?
Yeah.
All right, Jacquet's down, but not dead.
Yes.
Or he's unconscious.
Yeah.
It's undead. Oh Jesus.
Which I guess is now how the coup d'etat works in like when you're unconscious, because that's how that actually works. Okay, Fyrn, you also take another 42 damage.
Okay, but I get it halved.
No.
Something
That's
halved.
sorry. That's you take the poison damage is going to be halved. So let me do
Yeah.
that for you. But you take another 42 necrotic damage.
Okay.
All right, halved. You're going to take 17 poison damage, Fyrn. That's already
Okay.
halved.
Understood.
So,
I'm bloodied.
both of you get this stab jolt to your chests. Fyrn, you feel poison course through your veins, but your constitution takes over. Jacquet, you feel the dagger split into your chest. And even before I'm assuming even before the poison goes into your veins, were you already unconscious?
Yeah. Oh,
Starting,
yeah.
So you feel not only like the deep rending wound in your chest where a shadow dagger has gone through your heart, basically, and then like the stinging warmth of poison entering into your veins. Is Jacquet, you look up and see just an incorporeal shadow above you that then slowly just smiles at you, that grin that you drew on the Commodore's walls not too long ago, as you are kind of have that like effect of like being stabbed and do you have any last words before you go unconscious?
Jacquet just gives a weak grin, more out of shock than anything, as his eyes close.
Fyrn, you obviously get to roll initiative.
Okay. Intruders!
Septimus, I would like to, before we end, ask what you want to do as you detect this fiendish energy in the corner.
And what do I say?
You see kind of like a wisp, sort of like an incorporeal form, something that is like mercurial, like fluid, like something that can seem to take other forms. You do see that it is kind of like semi-humanoid shaped with this arm coming out that does seem to have like this shadow dagger prepared. But then it seems like it seems almost like it stopped as soon as it saw you sit up from your bed.
Mm-hmm.
And thinks that it's stealthed right now.
What type of energy am I saying?
Fiendish.
Seeing the fiendish energy and seeing that this is a figure that is looking to stab me, and it's some sort of entity that has some sort of like physicalness to it. Septimus is just gonna say, "Be gone from this place, demon," and try his stronghold action.
What is the stronghold action?
Shafts of golden, but will be light blue light. Stab down from the sky, penetrating walls and ceilings. The beams target all undead, demons, and devils within 60 feet of me, even those hidden or invisible. Targets must succeed a wisdom saving throw or be annihilated.
I love it.
Cool.
I love it. All right, wisdom, you said? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is super cool, so I'm going to tell you what the modifier is here for this wisdom check. It is only a +6, so there's a good chance that they won't succeed. What is the DC?
That's pretty high, Sean.
I know it's pretty high.
It is very high. What is it?
If it doesn't say, then we'll probably go off of your spell DC then.
Yeah.
We'll go off of your spell DC.
It'd be an 18.
Okay. Okay. Septimus, what does it look like when this shadow demon is annihilated?
Nice.
Just that light blue glow glimmering from his eyes as it starts to just radiate around the entirety of the temple, and then just a concentrated beam, and it probably could be seen from outside as well, just comes from the heavens down specifically on the point of where the devil is through the ceiling. Doesn't break anything, but phases through it and just ignites this demon up. It just erupts in light blue fire.
Yamato beam cannon.
All right, so I'll narrate a concluding image before we end the session. Septimus, you expected one beam of light to come down, but
okay, well, thank you, because yes, good.
So 3 beams of light come down, and Fyrn, as you're getting up out of your bed, semi-nude, looking for summoning your Ithildagnir, completely nude, summoning your Ithildagnir. And Jacques, as your eyes fade to darkness, you see this fiery blue light. Is the last thing you see as the smile vanishes, and all 3 are destroyed, and annihilated and dissipate into ash. Now, you don't know why that happened. That shouldn't have happened because of, Septimus. I mean, you don't know anything's happening outside of here, Septimus. But as far as your Demesne does not reach the Lighthouse District. No. But it has affected all 3 of these entities. Actually, I'm going to amend that statement. It affects 4. As another beam goes towards the Academy, eliminating another spectral force that's just another beam that goes down. As these things are annihilated. So, Septimus, you're kind of up, having just done this, summoned the power of Machina to destroy this. Fyrn, you are ready to fight. Yours is obliterated. Jacques. Give me a death saving throw.
17.
Am I just hanging out, sleeping?
He's in his private quarters, and this thing stabbed him. He made a choking noise, and smiled at it. It's not exactly the loudest commotion.
No. I don't. Bruce is probably a snorer or two.
Yeah. Jacques, give me a second death saving throw.
8.
1 and 1.
Oh boy.
Jacques, give me a third death saving throw.
3.
Jacques, give me another death saving throw.
Where's
3.
Oren? No!
And that's where we'll end tonight.
Oh shit! Oh no!
With the assassination of Jacques Duchard.
Oh, you did, boy.
Thank you for joining us tonight, friends.
Dum.
We will continue. Next week we actually we may be doing the Saskia arc. Give our boys some time to think about what to do next. Now,
Check
granted,
that. Time to make another character.
well, no, this is. We'll talk about it after, but come check in next week to see what happens. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight, or wherever you are in the world. We'll see you all next time. Good night.
Goodbye.
Bye.